wrong screen. Play us in, you little shit. Painting goo 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 goo. Paintingu! Ah, every fucking time. Really? Every time? You fucking for real? Paintingu! Paintingu! Io coso to Paintingu. Let me get rid of that little bitch. Ah! Over there, you little slag. You vagabond. You vagrant. You peasant. Any tips that went in the bowl during the intro? I get all of them. He gets none of them. Why? Because he's a little bitch. That's why he's called Little Bitch Bear. That's what you get for lying to me. Scum. It's one of my favorite things about Warhammer 40k was the Space Marines. It's like almost every time they come across like chaos or orcs or some shit, like Xeno scum. Like, I would rather adhere to the dogma of Space Marines out of Warhammer 40k than I would to like something like, you know, Christian Orthodoxy or some shit. Like, it just seems more Chad. But at the same time, more stoic, like, you know? I mean, you'd have to be pretty fucking stoic to wage war for like 40 odd thousand years throughout the universe. I have a bit of bacon stuck in my beard, it would appear. I had glorious crispy bacon, not them streaky rashers. Ones that you typically have with like pancakes or some shit like that, like for you Americans, like. It's actually one of my favorite breakfasts is fucking pancakes and cream and maple syrup and oh god. I just ate and I'm making myself hungry again. Right. The visuals look a bit choppy. I might see if I can reduce the. I don't really want to reduce the resolution because the screen quality is actually quite good. But I don't want to be all choppy, you know, and it's quite choppy. Um, saving the bacon for later, eh? Like that's like you're not a real man if you don't have a beard, and you're really not a real man if you don't eat from said beard regularly. every time I take a sip from coffee or like a big fucking thing of water or whatever like that, like I'm always doing this with my bottom lip and like sucking all the excess liquid out of my mustache. And the amount of things that like I'll do, and then the female will just be like, "Eh," I'm just like, "What of it? I'm a male. We are built to be able to subsist." Like that's what like modern bitches don't get about blokes is that like real blokes, like blokes who like want to be real blokes, want to be real niggas. Like we embrace the like rough and tumble fucking battered and bruised. Like we like working out, we like pain to a degree. Like, do you know what I mean? Obviously, we're not like the majority of us anyway aren't sadists or some shit. Like, all right, before I go on a rant, I'm gonna try and fix this bitrate shit because me appearing choppy on the screen while I'm looking at it is doing nothing but distracting me. It is siphoning my chi in a direction that I do not wish. Okay. Mixer settings. Open advanced audio settings. No. How about my advanced visual settings? Settings. What's the crack here? Video. Base canvas resolution. That's hilarious, isn't it? What if we drop that a little? We go to 1280. 1280 by 720. Downscale filter. I don't rightly know. Our grandfathers carried a deer carcass through the snow in their beards. It is only natural to save some food in one's beard. Do you imagine like you were such a fucking Viking Chad that you could drag a deer with your beard? You just murder the thing with an axe and then fasten its antlers to the ends of your beard, like, and just with sheer neck and jaw strength, just drag the thing home. Helgar, what have you there? Deer. Oh god. Iron Man Bureau, welcome to Peinteingu. I'm trying to sort out my bitrate or some shit, my the output on my video because I'm real. Is it showing up really choppy your end as well, or is it just my end? Because if it's just my end, I won't worry about it. But it's like, okay, it's okay now. But every couple of minutes or seconds or some shit, like it's, I don't know. I'll leave it for the moment. I'm still getting used to Streamlabs and shit, so like we'll see what the crack is. Do I have to move this way or that way? This way? That way? This way. Right. Okay. Right. Now we don't have to do the map because we know where we're going because our illustrious Iron Man Beru gave us the number 55 the last time we did the hat in the map. And we elected to get Africa out of the way and go there again. Equatorial Guinea. That was it. Oh yeah, it was the other coast. It was the other coast of Africa. And the other one was Czech Republic. So we're going to the Czech Republic. And I already have I looked up a few images before the stream. And man, the fucking... I know people can set up good photos and shit, or like, Photoshop can be a thing, but fuck me, like the first couple of images you see on Google Images of fucking Czech Republic's fucking beautiful. Very similar to Dublin in a lot of ways. Now, I'm not saying Dublin city centre is beautiful. Like, I don't think it is. But it's like a similar setup where like you have like a river running through the middle and multiple bridges going over it and shit. Like, but they have those beautiful chapels with those like I don't even know how to describe them. They're like those bulbous, pointed ramparts. Is that what they're called? The corners to chapels and the roofs on chapels. They don't have that Gothic where you look where it's just like a triangle, like a very skinny triangle with like mean looking notches and gargoyles and shit on it. Like They have those very like fat, curved, bulbous, then to a point and shit. Like one of these days, I'm gonna wreck this canvas totally by accident. Chop is gone. Okay, it looks like it's coming back. It looks like it's coming and going or whatever. And my internet's fine. Like my connection's good. It could be. I'm pretty sure it's something to do with the camera settings, maybe, because I think Streamlabs is like running on such a high, like 60 frames a second, 1080p or whatever like that. Because I was surprised at the image quality when I first set this up. I was like, oh, this is nice and sharp. You can really see how handsome I am. The I think that's what's slowing it down. I think, like, I'm pretty like I would assume that's what's slowing it down because I wasn't getting this choppiness before, on YouTube and shit. But the resolution and screen quality wasn't as sharp, so I'm guessing, because the old pattern recognition and shite, Um, oh, me and Iron Man Bear were having some good chat yesterday, weren't we, boss? We were fucking like talking about like I'm pretty sure that as far as like grabblers go and like grand manipulators and like cultures that are very adept at deception and shit like that, like I don't like I really don't think um I don't think it's the Jews, do you know what I mean, that are like, because like think about it, right? The pattern we've seen so far in life is like all is, things are not what they appear and shit, like, and just from growing up in Ireland and being Irish, I know what Irish culture is like, and Irish people have a very similar chutzpah. Do you know what I mean? It's the pikey, it's the tinker, it's the knacker, it's the traveller, whatever you want to call them. Like, do you know what I mean? It's not just them, but like that's the first kind of like the gypsy kind of mentality. Like, but it's weird. It's like it's further ingrained in Irish culture. Like one of the first things I think of is like the IRA stuff and like well, not the, was it the IRA stuff? Well, yeah, it would have been some of that shit. Like seriously, take everything I say in terms of like historical accuracy with a massive chunk of salt. Also the same can be said of mainstream history. But like from what I have heard and experienced, like Irish are really good at fucking guerrilla warfare and such. And when you watch TV shows that are about like real life crime and based on like real gangs and like real international crime syndicates and families and stuff like that, there's always an Irish family, and they always like, usually anyway, not always, but they usually have some connection to what's referred to as the old Irish kings or the original Irish kings. And like you hear the names like Steen and Stein and Rothschild and Soros and all these, like, and the Clintons is like a modern version, like, but they're like these family names that are like real old, and they've managed to be like nepotistic and stuff for long enough that they've disseminated all this knowledge and wealth and power to their offspring. Oh, sip sip. I've had enough coffee this morning to fucking kill a horse. I've pissed like 3 times in the past hour. So if I have to dip out to take a piss and then get another fucking half a litre of water into me, don't be surprised. To Icarindi Barrow, welcome to Peinteingu. Toes up, fuckers. Indeed, yes. I actually can't see I can't see the likes now because I'm using Streamlabs. So you'll get away with it if you don't like the stream. Yeah, I'm not gonna try and fix the bit rate. Fuck it, whatever. Like we'll just go. We'll just do it. Like we'll just fucking do it live. Like, and what was I saying? Yeah, like fucking Irish crime and all that shit. Like like I think, forgive me. There's just something so like, especially if you're only listening to the audio. Like if you can just hear what I'm doing right now, I'm shaking the paint. And no, that's not a euphemism. I'm just doing what the thing tells me to do. It says shake well before you. I'm sorry. When I was painting in heaven, when I was painting God, I didn't need to shake the paint. You know, divine paint shakes itself. Anyway, I fucking like. Oh god, I'm actually knackered. Like again, I was up early and shit, and I've had too much coffee, and not enough water to offset it. And like I usually like don't eat until after the stream, so like I'm pretty hungry and shit. But I ate a load of bacon and cream cheese, like straight up just bacon and cream cheese. Didn't even use a fork, you know. Just a lot, just a big like tablespoon of cream cheese. I love soft cheese, the Philadelphia shit, like. But whack load of soft cheese on the side of on the side of a like a saucer, and then just like 10 streaky rashers, crispy bacon, and I just like went at it. So I'm a bit like food comedy. Part of me is just like, oh, I kind of want to go to bed for a little while, have a siesta. Oh, I'm yawning, like, you know. Been up fucking, like, I'd say around 6:30 this morning. Like, fucking doing me qigong, you know, trying to stay warm and all. It's actually, like, it's a fun challenge in the morning now. With the cold coming in, especially in this fucking house. But it's a fun challenge in the morning trying to warm up and then stay warm for as long as possible, like without sticking the heating on. Oh god. Right. A new Peinteingu is to be painting good today. So we shall commence the epic taiko drums, and we shall get out the magic hat bitch. But we don't need to get the fucking map bitch out because we know where we're going. We're going to the Czech Republic, the place of bulbous things on roofs. I get so distracted by that window beside me because it's like all the cars and trucks passing and shit. And like every so often, I know somebody just looks up into the window and sees some dude sitting here in a kimono and a headband with his fucking hair in the top knot, just talking like like what could easily be the wall. Like I could like I for all intents and purposes, if somebody looked in the window right now and looked at me and tried to speculate what was going on, there's in all probability I could actually just be sitting here talking to Garlos on my own, you know, just being like, why did you do it? Tell the people, Carlos. Why did you do it? Why did you do it? Why did you put the bucket on your head? And then the sunglasses on top of the bucket. Why did you do it? You cannot see already. You can't see through the bucket. It's stainless steel. It's a stainless steel bucket. You can't see through it. I know you have the eyes of a tiger, but you can't see through solid stainless steel, my friend, my dear Carlos. Why? Why did you do it? He did it because his face has been destroyed by cocaine. That's what happens when you're the former tiger of a Colombian drug lord. I mean, come on. I mean, we'd all do it. I mean, if you had the resources, you'd totally own a tiger. I'd fucking do it. If you gave me the option to like, and the space, like I'd want like a massive space. I wouldn't want to keep a tiger in a compound or some shit. If I had my own tiger, I'd want to give the nigga like land. Like I would treat you well, Carlos, given different circumstances. But you would have to keep the bucket on. Could you imagine how like simultaneously terrifying yet perplexing it would be if you were just out in the fucking jungle hunting or even foraging or like, you know, researching or even just surviving, whatever you're doing, and you catch the silhouette, you know, you're like, you know, looking into the shrubbery, and you freeze and your heart skips a beat and you're like, oh my god, that's a fucking tiger. Like I can see the shape. You know, despite its innate camouflage, I'm able to discern that this is a predator before me. My god. And then you see the bucket on its head. And then you see the sunglasses on the bucket. And you think to yourself, how? And then you think to yourself, why? How? Then why? Quite often, these are the questions most important in life. It's also a topic that me and Iron Man Bear were talking about last night. It's fucking like when somebody turns around to you and it's just like, what did I say? I was like I've known people to be like, oh god, is that the first burp of the stream? There's more to come. The water is starting to mix with the coffee and the milk. I've had people like, you know, I've heard people in my vicinity throughout the years being like, you know, oh yeah, did you hear about blah blah blah? It's horrible. Like he got hopped on like by a group of lads, or did you hear about that poor young fellow got stabbed? Like, and a lot of people, their first instinct is like, oh, that's horrible. That's such a horrific thing. Like, you know, but me, you know, we're all outliers here, or have been throughout our lives, and like Iron Man agreed with me. Like the first thing that comes to my mind is why. You know, it's like, oh, did you hear, like, you know, blah blah, got his head kicked in by fucking 10 lads, and I'd be like, well, what did he do? My friend, like, I don't jive with that whole narrative of like, you know, oh, people just get randomly mobbed. It's like, but why were you there? And like, if you didn't like that, like, that's what I suppose there is an element of like, there is a major chunk of the population, especially in the West nowadays, that doesn't like have martial arts training. And like, I think that's such a fucking fail as far as society at large goes. Like, I don't have like a lot of martial arts training. I have like fundamentals at best, like, you know, to intermediate, like in some ways. Um, but like that, just that simple discipline of your ego and sense of honor in combat, and like the whole karate Jedi thing of like, uh, it's for defense only, you know. I'm gonna teach you how to fucking like use. I'm gonna teach you how to, like, you know, repeatedly hit shit with your fucking hand until it becomes so fucking hard and like calloused and shit that you like could actually like fuck someone up just by going ha, like chopping them in the collarbone, like people think that karate chops are like, you know, oh, that's bullshit. That's like that's bullshido. It's like, don't get me wrong, bullshido is a thing. You know, there are McDojos. There are plenty of people out there that, like, you know, teach absolute tripe, like all the self defense bollocks, like most of it anyway. Like, but like that doesn't mean that like some what would be considered by modern combat standards unorthodox strikes aren't like really effective if they're trained correctly and used with proper technique. Like one of my favorite scenes in any movie that has action in it, never mind like predominantly action movie, but it's like the first Matrix film where fucking Neo is thrown down with Smith in the fucking subway, and it's you know, that moment where like he's getting the shit kicked out, or he turns around and Trinity's like, what is he doing? And Morpheus like, he's beginning to believe, and then he just like, right, come on, I'm gonna fucking take you on, like, fuck this, like. And I think it's like halfway, no, is it, I think it's in the first series of strikes before like Smith starts to like kick his head in. There's a sequence of strikes between them where like Neo goes to throw a fucking a straight at him, right? And Smith like catches his hand, and then Neo extends his fingers, and Smith is like, he like catches him right in the throat. And I remember watching that with me dad when I was a kid, and I remember me dad like slapping his knee and laughing hysterically, like, he'd say that's fucking brilliant, like, because there is an aspect to, especially when you're sparring a lot, especially when you're practicing martial arts a lot, it not so much like, in a random bar fight. Like, I'm not saying that, like, I'm not one of those fucking idiots that is like going to be like, apply a left high block, and then the bottle will break upon your forearm, and then the next thing you do is like smash him in the nose, and he'll go like this, and then you strike to the throat. Like, I'm not talking about that shit. I'm talking about like, in the practice of martial arts, quite often what you'll come across is stuff that like isn't immediately, apparent when one thinks of like unarmed combat, and like you'd be surprised what sections of your body um are like really effective weapons and shit, given the right scenario and shit. And like, people do think all the time, it's like, oh, you just like aim for the head, like you catch him right in the chin or behind the ear or whatever, and you hit the off switch, and he'll just like whatever. But man, like, remember that fucking scene that I don't even know what movie's that from, but like, there's a scene with Denzel Washington from a film that Owen put on one of the streams, where like some nigga like comes up to him, and he's talking shit, and because of how he's talking to his bitch in the like just out in public, like she tries to like leave, and he's like whoa 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 whoa, and like grabs her wrist and shit, like, and some fucking Egypt tries to come over on White Knight, and Denzel just like hits him in the throat real quick, and the nigga's like. And then Denzel's like, "You'll be okay. You'll be okay." He just like has him like, and like that, that's real, controlled violence. Like, do you know what I mean? That's kind of where I'm at. Like, what I'm talking about is like, you don't need to be like Mike Tyson or like a very highly tuned. Like, you don't need to be a Formula One car to be able to race on a track, like effectively. Do you know what I mean? You may not be the fastest, you may not be the best at taking corners and shit, like, but you don't need to be this like finely tuned piece of machinery to be able to perform the task adequately, and efficiently. Like, you could do the same thing with a fucking Mini Cooper. Like, it's like, what most people forget immediately is that like, less is more quite often in like unarmed combat, and that's where I'm coming from. Where it's like, the best thing you could teach a woman, like, in terms of self defense, is actually what, like, the fucking Dylan Moran said it in a set of his, of one of the stand up pieces that like he did years ago. It was like, my mother told me, it's like, doesn't matter how big the fucker is, they all have a neck and a groin. Like, and like, that's one of the funny realities of life that actually makes me like, I laugh at modern combat sports, because the simple reality is, if we're going to be like, if we're going to be straight about this, um, you're not going to be wearing a steel cup out in the open, And the fastest way to immobilize a male, anyway, like, maybe not a female, but like the fastest way to immobilize a male is throat or groin, because he either can't breathe, and the blood's not getting to his head properly, and it's like totally like, debilitating and instinctual to grab your throat. And then there's the balls, and then the first thing everybody thinks of is like, oh, but that's fighting dirty. Do you know what I mean? But like, I'm like, what do you mean fighting dirty? Like, like, if you're fighting for your life, do you know what I mean? Like, if we're talking like it's just two dudes out at, like, what's the scenario? Are they actually trying to kill each other? Or are they just like, um, is it a clash of egos over something, and they are trying to best each other in honorable combat? Because there's a massive difference. Like, this like touches on what we were talking about with the whole modern military fighting, where it's like playing lead tennis with each other isn't an honorable thing to do. That's a economical thing to do. That's a financial thing to do. You see, this is why I don't like the little heart thing on the chat, because all I saw was, there's rules in survival. Oh, excuse me. Which technically is true too. But I know, I see that you can say, I see that you said there's no rules in survival because it's behind the heart. Oh, Oh god. Oh, I'm gonna need so much more water. But yeah, it's all it's all fascinating to me because like all this money and all this attention and all this like supposed glory. And I was like that. Like I remember having a warehouse gig like before COVID, and I was talking to one of the lads in the warehouse, and at the time I still I was post my hernia surgery, and I still kind of wanted to be a fighter. I wanted to get into a gym and I wanted to start training and I wanted to give it a go. Um, but I was conflicted because I was like, I knew I knew I could draw, and I was good at art, and that was also something I always wanted to do was like design video games and characters and stuff like that and all like, and I was more passionate about that stuff. It was my demons were more the reason why I wanted to fight. I wanted to hurt people. I like that like and for it to be like legal and right and not righteous, but legal and like in the right context and like benefit me. Like I didn't want to just fight people like over nothing. Like, do you know what I mean? I wanted to fight people for money. Like, it's like, uh, which like looking back on it all, like I had very poor motivations, and misplaced motivations for wanting to like engage in unarmed combat. Well, like what is like considered the best simulated real form of unarmed combat, because I like the way Conor McGregor used to refer to it like that. He didn't call it MMA. Well, obviously he did it like multiple times, like whatever, but he quite often refer to it like his skills in unarmed combat. um and that's how I view it. Do you know what I mean? Because that's why everybody loved Anderson Silva so much. Is like Anderson Silva was so good that he could make other people look like they couldn't fight, even though you've seen that other guy fight and he's like brutalized people. And then he gets in the cage with Anderson Silva, and Silva dances around him like a spider, and then just wraps him up in a web and knocks him the fuck out, like, you know, like, or just starches him with a single kick. It was just beautiful to watch, like, and Connor was the same, all that build up, and then the Aldo fight, and then he just like steps out of the way and boom, and just puts him out, like, and like now a lot, like, there's still some good fights, but now it's become so commercialized and stuff. Like there's a lot of really early stoppages, like, and stuff. There was only one there recently in the light heavyweight division, like, and I didn't even watch the card. I just watched like YouTube videos after it and catch up vaguely, because I'm just not arsed anymore, because like I want to see, like, it's like being a part of the bear community, and like, being watching Owen streams, like, this other stuff from the mainstream just doesn't cut it anymore. It just doesn't satisfy me. I see a fight and I'm like they're just so, they're supposed to be elite fighters, but there's fucking five, like 3 5 minute rounds, and both of these guys walk out with like without a blemish on them, and you're like, what the fuck? Like, like it's not a wrestling competition; it's a scrap. Like, come on, like, and yeah, like, you could well argue that that's like, it's all like, in that terms, it's just subjective and it's just my personal opinion. But I think I like, like more of the stuff that I was mentioning a few moments ago. It's not really about opinion. It's like the definition, you know, because they call it combat sports when it isn't really. You know, it's like it's it's full contact sports. I wouldn't call it combat sports. It's full contact sports. Because if it was combat sports, it would, like, that's why, like, I like I when I used to listen to Joe, I remember him saying this, and I completely agreed with him. I was like, there should be no gloves, there should be no cup, you should be on grass in a field, no cage, nothing, like, and it should just be like, right, off you go. Like pikey style, like how pikeys do it. Right, boys, off you go, and there's no rounds. There's no still, there's no nothing, like, do you know what I mean? It's just like fight. and then they just watch you fight, like, you know. And then I think it should be like the way the Asians do it, where like you shouldn't be allowed like shout, and there shouldn't be corners, you know, being like, you know, hit him with the left, fucking watches this, you know, fucking 129, 129. Like there shouldn't be any of that. It should just be two dudes like trying to kill each other, kind of. You know what I mean? Like you don't want them to actually kill each other. Obviously, there's still be a ref that will like intervene before one of them actually dies or one of them delivers a killing blow. But like that's it. You always get these fighters that like it's almost like emotional abuse. Like you get them so amped up, and then they could like get a good fucking hit and stumble and fall, but still have their hands up and ready to fight. And the ref like gets on top of them and calls the fight, and your man starts running around celebrating, and they're like, "What the fuck? I was okay. I was down, but I wasn't out. Like, what the hell, man? Like, do you know what I mean?" And then like he, you know, that counts as a loss in his career, and like the mental. Like some guys take that really bad, like, do you know what I mean? Like some guys, you can see it in some fighters where like they're kind of big, you know, they're big boys, you know, and I relate to that in a lot of ways, like, you know, being a gamer and shit like that. Like I definitely suffer from a portion of arrested development, you know, like I like look at me. I'm on the internet dressed in a kimono headband and fucking like top knot, like, do you know what I mean? I definitely have aspects of like still having a childlike mind, like, you know, but I would definitely argue that I've maintained and managed to hold on to the good, true, and beautiful aspects of a childlike mind. You know, I have wonder and hope and innate joy in my system, despite all the, you know, fucking memories and realities of life, and like, so like I never thought I'd be the type of person to like occasionally take a moment to thank God. I do that now. I did it before the stream. I just took a moment to just be like, thank you. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry for being weak. You know, I'm very vague. I wouldn't even refer to it as prayer. You know? Because it's very, like, I speak to whatever it is, and I feel it. This, like, I think that's why so many people are starting to turn on to this, is because it's not just a thought form. It's not just a theory or an opinion or a ideology. It is an experience. It's a feeling. You know that feeling that tingle you get in the bottom of your spine when you're listening to a song you really like, and like that portion of the song comes, and like it's almost like a tiny orgasm in your spine goes off, where you're like, oh yeah, I love that bit of the song, like, you know, like could be like it could be even a bit of the song where like the music stops for a moment, you know, and then comes back in, like so much of life. Like I think that's why porn is such a powerful weapon, because it's using sex magic, and sex magic is like the most, if not one of the most powerful forms of magic, because it's creation magic, and it's creation magic that involves consciousness and both polarities of consciousness coming together, generally, you know, in its true form, I would argue, in a consensual and loving relationship. You know, obviously you get like creation, unfortunately, out of shit like rape and stuff like that, like, you know, and then you get creation of what we're doing today. Like you get these fucking, like, have you guys seen this shit where they're starting to fucking grow stuff in sacks? They're starting to just be like, yeah, we don't fucking need men. We don't even need women. You know, we don't need people. We can just artificially just generate things in sacks and call them human. Like, you think the transgender shit is bad now? Wait, there's like enough people walking around that the public start talking about it, or the news starts talking about it, that there's like actually people in our population walking around live, breathing, who are a result of like they're test tube babies, you know, for lack of a simpler term or whatever. Like that's what they are. They're test tube babies. And this shit's freaky. Like I remember a few years ago when I seen fucking they had an artificially inseminated sheep embryo that they stuck in an artificial womb and managed to grow it to fucking to the end of the gestation period, natural gestation period, and bring it out of the artificial womb, and it lived. And it's like, what? We're fucked now. That's not my opinion, by the way. I'm saying that's what a lot of people would think. I'm not a doomer. I'm not one of those guys who sees a new form of tech comes out and I'm just like, oh god, here we go, the beginning of the end. I'm not that. If anything, I'm the opposite. Every time somebody says that, oh god, the grid, it's getting close, the grid's gonna go down, I was like, what? For what? A week? Watch, yeah, the grid will go down for a week, and do you know what I mean? People don't take into account the ever-present, ever-changing nature of life. While you're thinking about one narrative, there are multiple. It's like watching a movie, a well-written movie. Lord of the Rings, for example. Look how Lord of the Rings plays out. While Frodo is off with Sam, while the riders are looking for Merry and Pippin and Frodo and Sam, while Aragorn is fucking, trying to decide whether or not he wants to be a king. The reason that story is so interesting is because you have the constant chessboard of characters. It's like watching the stars. Isn't that all makes sense to me? It's like watching the stars. When you look up at the stars, you have all this stuff happening in sync with each other. And then quite often things sync up and line up and come to some sort of resolution. And then it all starts all over again. And when you look at the story of Lord of the Rings, it's from the perspective of the good guys, But then if you were to take, what I was talking about there the other day, if you take I'm not sure if it's the Buddhist or the Tao or whatever, that's how oh yeah, that's how surface level I am. And I like being that. I don't get deep into fucking ideologies or religion. Because I look at everybody who does and look at the state of them. But anyway. I'm rambling now. But stories. That's why they're so powerful. Is because we resonate with them. All this stuff is happening at the same time. I don't think the grid will go down and that'll be the end of it, and life will go apocalyptic or Mad Max or fucking zombie, fucking hordes of zombies and fucking retro fucking fitted tech and stuff. Everybody's running generators and I really don't think all of that stuff we all know and love from media and games and books and all that shit. That is what people imagine based on speculation given their perception at the time, plus whatever they were taught or whatever. Those people are doing what Owen's doing right now. He's just in flow, being honest, calling what he sees, do you know what I mean? And then that's how it plays out, and it is natural that we read and experience those stories, and then time goes on and we're oh shit, he was right about that, because you saw how you can read the stars. If you can read the stars, then you can read a story. You can tell where a story's going. You can tell what kind of story it is, how it's going to play out. Why can you do that? Because there's rules to this game. There's innate rules to how all this works. And if you know the rules and you abide by the rules, you become very powerful. And then you have all the people who fucking hate the fact that there's rules in the first place and try to get around all the rules and create loopholes and shit. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's the same in everything. And like, that's what I like. Fucking being a gamer, I'm actually like so grateful that I grew up with video games and love video games the way I love video games and for the reasons I love video games. I'm not just like some kind of like, you know, instant gratification cortisol addict. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I appreciate games because they're works of art. You know, like I downloaded a game last night that I haven't played in fucking ages. It's one of my favorite games of all time. Devil May Cry 4. Excellent game series. And is actually very relevant to all the stuff that we do be talking about all the time. It's about a guy called Dante who's half demon, half human. And like he has a brother called Virgil. You know, like it's all very biblical, you know? And it's just like I'm so into that shit, like, do you know what I mean? Like, you know, I used to get pissed off that like we couldn't actually take on demons like IRL, you know? I used to get pissed off that you couldn't just like instead of joining the army, you could just like join the Brotherhood of the Blade and like be trained in the art of slaying demons and stuff like you know, fucking like a real life exorcist and shit going around, like, you know. And maybe that stuff does exist. It's just really kept under wraps. I don't fucking know. Be fucking awesome, in my opinion. Do you know what I mean? Like, fuck it. Like, if the Hellboy stuff, like, was, like, real and shit, like, you know. But, like, as we all know, in a sense, it is real. It is real on a metaphorical, metaphysical, allegorical, you know. What's the other term? Fucking, like, I can't fucking remember now. Figurative, like you know, it's all real but not real, but then we can make it real. It's such like a paradoxical existence where like I said, if you know the rules and you abide by them, like, you know what I mean, you literally can manifest shit into reality. All it does is really because of the system we're currently in, it usually just takes time and effort, which makes sense considering the rules of the game, you know? Anyway, I have probably ranted for far too long. Iron Man Bear's pulling his fucking hair out. I'm actually surprised there hasn't been a thing thrown up in the chat. Fucking like 48 minutes and not a lick of paint on the canvas. Right. The hat has been shuffled. I have ranted. It is Woden's Day. And it is time for a new Peinteingu. Allow the music to permeate your soul. Oh. Oh. What's the one for? Did I say put one in the chat if like I did something? I'm shuffling the fuck out of the hat in a maybe futile attempt to make it be good to me. Get some good picks. I was recently debating whether to put the number up from 3 to 5. What shithole are we in today? I want number 1. No, remember last time? What was it? 4 streams ago or 5 streams ago? I think it was the beginning of the last episode. I said that we'd go to 55 on the next episode, on the next new episode. We're going to the Czech Republic. That's where we're headed. Skipped frames detected 26% over. giving me a warning and skipped frames. Is it still kind of choppy your end? Skipped frames detected, 26% over. I don't know. That's weird. Wasn't Owen's stream like really choppy there the other day? Maybe the grid is going now. Video is fine. Right. It's probably just my end then. It's probably just me. Right. Here we go. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? In your spina! It's finally timer! Peinteingu! Peinteingu. Peinteingu. Let's do some snatchingu! Snatchingu! It's buffering a bit, but it's fine. Yeah, fuck it, like. Ding, ding, ding. Ding, ding, ding. Right, snatch number 1. Ah! It's rare that I get a first snatch. It's rare. Snatch! Oh! I got a 2-fer, did I? No, it's just torn. First one is a road. So there's probably going to be a lot less water in this one. I usually have a lot of water. I usually like have a sea or like some kind of like beach or some shit like. There has been a lot of them. There's been a lot of islands recently. Yeah, might need to turn down the data rate. Yeah, I don't know how to do that, and I didn't want to spend time trying to like figure that out. It's probably worth it. It won't let me change the bitrate. Maybe I don't have. I wonder why I can't change the bitrate. That's interesting. I actually can't. I can't turn it down. I can't click on it. That's interesting. Like, I could just turn the frames down a bit. Maybe that'll help. Instead of 60 frames a second, I could put it to, like, 44. Is that better? Seems to be okay now. 44 frames a second. Nice and stable. Not quite 60, but your eyes probably can't tell the difference. Being a gamer, I really know that shit. You're playing something at 60 frames a second, and then you play something that's not at 60 frames a second, and you're like, what the fuck is this? Just leave it. Yeah, it's starting to go robot-y again. I only have 2 bars on my internet actually, so it more than likely is just my connection, which is kind of annoying though. You know, there's nothing else using the fucking connection like that. So I don't know how. But whatever. Anyway, snatch number 2. Snatch. Oh, I felt that one. I felt it slip in between my fingers. Snatch. Oh. Tabor! A road and a table. Will I go the usual 3 or will I go 5? I don't know. I was thinking of bumping up to 5. But we usually stick a lot of random shit in it anyway, like, so it doesn't really matter, does it? It's like 3 just gives us our baseline. Zatch! Oh! Ooh! Never mind. We're totally finishing on this one. Ninja! We have to paint a ninja! Right. That concludes the picking of the Peinteingu parts. Where's my demon music? Where's my demon music? There we go. You and your shitty little fucking tune can do yourself a favor and get the fuck off my stream in about 3, PTSD. 2, 1, and I won't fucking oh, for fuck's sake, 2 of them, 2 fucking ads in a row that I can't skip. Bastards. This is why you have to pay for Peinteingu, so I can pay for shit, so I don't have to listen to that shit. But then again, I've heard a few people say that me shouting over the ads is one of their favorite parts. So I might just leave that too. Right. So we're off to the Czech Republic, and we have a road, a table, and a ninja to paint. So I've got my bitches, and I'm ready to get them all wet. I have my royal rag. I place it upon my royal knee. Paint, paint. Right. Sip, sip. I just inhaled some of that water. Oh. Oh. I'm gonna die live on the internet. Right, some cerulean blue. Beautiful blue. We'll just do a sky, and then, like what I usually do, I'll just quickly do a sky. And then what I'm going to do for this is, what I might actually do is, the image I had in my mind is I'll do buildings over here, buildings here, and the river going through the... Well, actually, I'll do a road going through the middle. Or both, I don't know. A river and 2 roads, you know? Abreast. I don't fucking... Oh. Oh! That was a tight one. Right. Where's my big bitch? Get my big bitch out. Let's get that big bitch wet. Dip her in. Get her hair down all the way to the bottom of the barrel. And you pull her out. You slap her about. Use your royal rag to get rid of all the evidence. Right. Ooh, gooey. I've recently realised how inadvertently sexual this show is. I swear to God, I just said all that stuff to take the piss, but like, ever since I started shaking this, I'm just like, is that like, is there just an innate relation, an innate innuendo between painting and sex? Let's get these bitches, let's get their hair nice and wet. Hold on while I shake this thing. It's not gooey enough. Oh, paint, paint. Right. Squirt, squirt. paint. Paint, paint. Blue sky. Blue sky. I elected not to use the gouache today, so I'm going to see how these other paints hold up, because I've so much of it there. I was like, why am I not using this for Peinteingu? I'm just being an absolute retardo. At least a few times a week, I realise how much of a bellend I can actually be. Get some nice flow. Hiya! Go a little bit lower. Bring it down a little bit. Just a little bit like here. Hiya! I think it might be time to change that water, but not yet. Anaconda, a Buick, a rope, and a frying pan. So is that just what's on your mind today, is it? Maybe use a router instead of a potato, but I know you can't help that because I know, and like the way the house is set up and the way the internet got installed, the actual the router's like in the other end of the house through two doors and shit, like, you know. And I still get like decent connection and shit, so it's grand. Like I managed to download that like Devil May Cry 4 is like, I think it's just under 20 gigs or something, and I downloaded it in 10 minutes versus like what 9 hours or something that would have taken before on my phone or some shit, like. What's that say? Operation error with operator error with drinking is the worst. I'm lost. Was I painting while that? What happened? Oh, right. When I inhaled the water. Okay, I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm back. I'm back, and I'm black. Right. Green. That's what I was looking for. What kind of green? That's the question. Go for that hooker green. There's a bit of that hooker green there, like you fuck. Do love a bit of hooker green, like that shit just makes me laugh, like. It's hooker. You know, there's two O's in it. It's hooker green, but like that almost just makes it worse. Hooker, you bleeding hooker, you slag. I like look at the kind of green it is. It's like kind of this like dirty, dank, dark green. Hooker green, like it's nasty. Oh fuck! Squirt, squirt. It's like you make that shade of green and then turn around to someone and be like, "What would you call that shade of green?" Hooker green. Like, the only time I've seen that kind of green is on a hooker. Does that just mean that prostitutes always have the best weed? Like, you ain't smoked you ain't smoked real green, nigga, till you've bought weed off of a fucking a lady of the night. They got the real shit. The kind of weed you can only get your hands on by sucking dick. Sure. The road here and shit. Paint, paint. I'll put loads of buildings in the foreground, actually. That's what I'll do this time. Paint. Ingu. That just makes me think of goblin prostitutes. Oh god, like you imagine an orc prostitute. Hey baby. Like oh! Like fuck. Oh, Jesus. Where's me black? I actually know black. No? Oh no, yeah, I have black. Yeah. So I'm not using gouache today. I'm using acrylics. But they're like high quality acrylics, you know. So I'm trying to. In a lot of ways, I've gone back to basics today. Give me a nice grey. Yeah, that'll do. That'll do, pig. That'll do. Right, so we'll do all the buildings from like we'll do buildings here. Do buildings all here. And then here. And we'll do buildings here. roads. And we'll do roads. We'll do a road here. And then I can do a road maybe coming through here. And then I'll do a river here. Okay. It is beginning to... The Peinteingu has taken shape. Paint, paint. Paint, paint. Ingu. Paint, paint. Ingu. Oh shit! Shit, shit! Finger the paint. Painting, goo, 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 goo. Painting, goo, 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 goo. Hiya! Oh, cobalt. I just like saying cobalt. Cobalt. Like, it's one of those words where I'm just like, yeah. Paint, paint. I was like, when I'm looking at the screen, it already looks like a nice waterfall and shit. Like, that's not what I'm going for. Paint, paint. the sky, will I? Or will I darken the water? I think I might do a bit of both. Why are you stopping? How dare you? How dare she stop without my permission? Cerulean, return to me, my child. More white. Thing just spat all over the fucking. Yes, there we go. That's quite pale. Like myself. There we go. That's a bit paler. And then when I put the fucking. When I put the clouds in. We could go paler. We could go paler. We got albino in this bitch. Yes. Pale. Parley. With that pale blue sky. Pale blue sky. Stick some frothy crowds in. Who doesn't like frothy crowds? Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Okie dokie. Go back in with that green, actually. Go back in with the hooker green. Paint, paint. Paint, paint. Paint, paint. I want clumpy clouds instead of fluffy. You want clumpy? How clumpy? How crumpy? How crumpy do you want your crowds? Oh fuck. Okay. Squirt, squirt. Paint, paint. Squirt, squirt. Paint, paint. Yeah, huh? Very wet. See, that's the only thing that, like, well, it's not the only thing, but I know that, like, like these aren't fully matte, so there's not going to be as much of a cartoon, like that kind of like vibrant cartoony feel to them. At least not like depending on how I do it. Like I'm gonna have to like maybe it'll just take more time, more layers and stuff like that. Like, but it's very interesting actually how just switching paint can like totally fucking change your how the paint feels, how the paint looks when it dries versus like how it looks when it's wet and stuff. Like huge differences. Paint. French ultramarine. We got an open one. Oh, that's violet. That's Prussian blue. French ultramarine. How funny would that be if you just had like an ultramarine out of like a space marine ultramarine out of Warhammer 40k, but he was French. Oh, Zizinos Gomer. yeah, it kind of does look like it's flowing through already. Very shiny though. I don't know how shiny it is, but it's still drying. The stuff is semi-matte, not fully matte. I think I could afford to go a bit greener. Primary? No, sap will do. Sap'll do, pig. Sap'll do. It's not open yet. Oh, whoop. Always smoking, constantly snooty, wields a baguette instead of instead of a gun, instead of a bolt gun. Oh, the Xenos come here. They have no je ne sais quoi. Like doing like headshots in orc, and he's just like, ugh, c'est magnifique. Like, actually be a really funny parody if you did it right. Like, it wouldn't even really be a parody. Like, it'd just be like, you know, just make up a character of an ultramarine who's like really French. Adeptus Bagueticus. Gotta get my hooker green out again. Hey. Hey, yeah. Just thinking there. It's really sad, isn't it, to see how far Bill Burr has fallen. It's like when for me anyway. It's like what's that other fucking? It's like when Frankie Boyle sold out. You know, you're just like, are you serious? Them? They were so good, like, you know. I imagine that's what it's like, you know, like if you're in a war, like you know, like a proper full-on war, and like somebody betrays and like descent, like you know, defects and goes to the other side or something, like the like the heartache you feel, the like you betrayer, deceiver, like traitor, like. Very shiny. It's almost repellently shiny. I wonder if it'll stop being that shiny once it finally dries, but I'm not sure. There's a few of these reasons why I started using the gouache. Oh, excuse me. Should have made myself a cigarette. I'm gonna sit here and dry this bitch. Rant. Rant. See if I can take a sip while I fan. Paint. Ah. Paint. Dry paint. Oh, good shit. What do you got? Vodka, moonshine? No, it's water. It's good shit. Good shit. Yeah, it definitely is semi-matte. The whole thing gives off a shine, and I'm like banging a light like straight at it. But now you can't see shit. Should have just stuck with the gouache. I don't know. I might restart this one. I really don't like the shine. Because it'll probably look fine if I take a picture of it like later or whatever, but like while I'm painting it on the stream, it might look all sorts of jank. You can barely see the fucking difference between the green mountain and the buildings here. I took a chance this morning on Peinteingu. I was like, fuck it, I have all these paints sitting there, may as well try and use them. But it might have been it appears that it was a mistake. The quality of the Peinteingu has suffered greatly. The last couple of Peinteingus I've done have turned out fucking hilariously comical and chaotic and vibrant and cartoony. This is looking very oil painting-y. Paint, paint. It's just not losing its shine even as it dries. Like this side's all right, like, but even still, it's not very. I did say I was going to do a few bridges, didn't I? So I'll have to do bridges across here actually, and like a road. I'll try and do a bridge. Maybe I could do a bridge going off in that direction, giving the impression that they connect somewhere here in the corner. Dunno. Squirty squirt. Where's my brack? Where's my brack? Negro. It's a shiny, happy painting. It is very shiny. I know, like that's, and like I always had like a lot of problems with acrylics and watercolors and stuff. Like that's why I didn't get into paint originally, because I was like, oh, I don't like how these things look, in person and stuff. But like I get it now with the watercolors and then stuff like gouache. It's like these matte finish, highly opaque artists' paints and stuff like. I just fell in love with that shit. These are still excellent paints. Um, and like if you were really fucking good, like you could produce some beautiful stuff. But I am far from a master painter. Defenderu, upon being exiled from heaven, became a demigod. No longer a god of Peinteingu, I have lost all of my former powers, and must spend my life learning all over again. Oh, you hairy bitch. Come here. You can't get it. Oh, there we go. Like that looks fairly matte. Cool. I can already tell that like it's starting to dry and get a shine to it because it starts to turn like plastically, you know. It's that plastic finish that gives it that shine. Like some bitch that's had too much Botox. Here on Peinteingu, we try and avoid the Botox bitch forehead finish. We're all about the matte finish here. And like it might be okay once it fully dries, you know? I'm not sure. Because they're semi-matte, like I don't like is it just as it dries it just has that shine to it, but when it fully dries it's fine. Can't even fucking remember to be honest. Oh yeah, because like look, that's even shinier than it was a minute ago. Like, what a beautiful shiny painting. Alright, we stick some fluffy crowds in this bitch. Oh sorry, clumpy. We got some crumpy, big crumpy crowds, big grumpy crowd. Just clouds like, fuck's sake. Paint. Lemon yellow. Oh, lemon. Lemon yellow. So hard to say. Lemon yellow. You know what? I should have put white down. I should have put white down before doing that. Make it much brighter. Hey yeah. from the clouds. It's that time of day again.
1%. Quantum AI is the
1%. Hello, everyone. My name is Iron Mer. Hello. Hello. My name is Iron Mer. Bubble, bubble, bubble. Sometimes you gotta blow on a bitch. What if Iran Ma was the real one all along? Oh, it'd be so fucking funny. If, like, our Elon Musk was, like, the West's knockoff version of a guy called Iran Ma. Oh my god, it's so shiny. It's like blindingly shiny. Obviously, gouache is the way to go, especially if I have a light. Ugh. And if I don't have a light on, like, you're not going to be able to see shit on a day like this. And it's the middle of the fucking day, like. Maybe if I fan it hard enough, it'll lose all of its shine. Like if I was an expert at lighting or something, perhaps there's like this golden angle or something that like... I suppose if the light was above it... Hold on, I'm going to check something. If the room light is sufficient, it might solve our problem. How's that? Ah, that's pretty shit. Because like the light's over there, you know. It would have to be like, it would have to be here, and like even if it was above it, it would still create a shine, I think. I think I'll just start this one again tomorrow and do it in gouache. Like I enjoyed painting this, and some of the shapes I got were cool and stuff. Like, but it just like there's no way I could like continue. Well, I could obviously, but no, I don't want to continue like this with this painting, with these paints, with the lighting like this, because like you don't get the like there's moments in the other paintings where there's some shine, but then the thing dries and it's like it's fucking fine, like, you know. And like parts of this are still wet, you know, like because of the angle of the light. Like I'm such a picky bastard sometimes, like, you know, like when I'm doing something that like, you know, I'm in charge of, I am quite like, no, it has to be done correctly. If you're going to do it right. If you're going to Peinteingu, be perfect, do. I have some nice silhouettes going on here. And the clouds are quite frothy. The clouds are quite frothy. What you should have said back there, Demon Hunter, was instead of wielding a baguette instead of a gun, it's like hit.
News.
No, it's fucking not. No, it's not, right? Shut your bitch mouth. Instead of a gun, like instead of being like having a baguette instead of a gun, it have like instead of a bolt gun that fires soda can sized rounds, he has a bolt gun that fires baguette sized rounds. Chap has like the biggest rifle in the fucking... I'm gonna do the soul and then take my call it. And then I'll say I'm gonna do this one again tomorrow. Like, these paints are nice, but just I don't like a shiny finish. Not a fan of the shine, like, you know. It's a shame because like these colours are quite vibrant and the paints are quite useful, like they're nice to paint with, like. It looks like I knew when I went to the gouache I'd be like, I'm not gonna want to go back now. And yeah, I was right. These paints are still nice though. Yeah, like where it's not shiny, it's fine, you know, which is annoying. I'm a Peinteingu. No, that's a hilarious idea. It's like the biggest rounds in any gun in the fucking universe, like baguette-sized fucking rounds, like just boom, 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 boom. Like I want to keep painting. Do you know what I mean? Like I want to keep going with it. But like every time I look at the screen, all I can see is the amount of shine on that side of the canvas, and I'm just like, ugh, ugh. I sound like that dude at a dune. Ugh, nom, ugh.
Yeah, fuck it. It is what it is. Like.
We sit in silence.
Really is semi-matte, like. Because it does, it feels kind of matte to the touch. And if the light's not hitting it at a particular angle, you know, which I suppose is what semi-matte means. Peinteingu. I might even like, I'll try and like remember this. Like I'll have this beside me or some shit tomorrow, and I'll try and get it looking like almost exactly like this. But I'll do it with the gouache instead. Because I want to keep up the current standard of the Peinteingus. The last couple of Peinteingus have turned out like really hilarious and graphic and cartoony and shit. Like, so I want to keep that style going. This looks like a fucking oil painting, like, you know. Looks like the type of thing that would take fucking 10 weeks to dry or some shit like that. Like, even though it's fucking, it's pretty much dry to the touch already. It's just got that fucking shine on it. Like I wonder if this like is this. I'm gonna figure all this shit out now. Yeah, look at that. Yeah. And like it looks fine when the light's not hitting it directly.
The hearty roast.
I'll give you a hearty slap in the fucking mouth if you don't get off my stream, you fucking cunt. But yeah, I'll do this one again tomorrow with the gouache instead. So I'm probably gonna rip this up and burn it while full of hatred. Right.
I demand to know what's going on in my house.
Yeah. Disappointing, but still enjoyable. Still enjoyable. Which is probably what some people think about this stream. It's not like some of your other Peinteingus.
Yeah.
It's a bit disappointing, but it's still enjoyable. That's how I felt about this Peinteingu. I enjoyed painting it. It looks good. It looks like a good, like, you know, silhouette to start with, to start putting detail in. But that shine is just like killing the fuck out of it. Like. But anyway, this concludes today's Peinteingu. I hope you are fucking satisfied, because I'm not. Neither is Carlos. Look at him. He's shaking his little tail and he's going crazy. Or maybe it's just the tunes. If you haven't already liked and subscribed to Peinteingu, do so now, or I will take the bucket off his head and unleash him upon you. Until tomorrow, same time, same place, same high-octane Peinteingu. I bid you farewell. Be good, be true, and be beautiful. I have been Defenderu, and this has been Peinteingu, and I will see you tomorrow. God bless you.